Odette, I understand you have a client by the name of Allison.
Yes.
With a chewing problem.
Yes, quite a long-term chewing problem.
Okay, but it wasn't just a chewing problem. There was much more to it. So why don't you just elaborate for us a bit?
Well, she couldn't bear the feeling of chewing, and that resulted in her not being able to chew anything that was tough, and she couldn't stand the feeling of vegetables or fruit. In fact, she hadn't eaten vegetables since she was a child.
Ah, okay.
And any meat that was anything other than exceedingly tender,
yes,
she had to liquidize just to make herself take it.
Yeah, and from an EFT point of view, one of the first things we think about, at least the first things I think about is, where back in the past is a specific event or two or three, that gave rise to all of this. What is she replaying currently, to bring this about, And so you went that direction, did you not?
Yes, indeed. Yes, we went down there, and we found a couple of very nice events that I thought were ideal.
And those are in your article,
yes.
That's along with this video. But as I recall it correctly, they were specific events that on the surface you would never expect to be somehow related to a chewing issue.
The ones that we started with, or that I intended to start with, were to do with her jaw having been damaged, and also to do with her having had a lot of ulcers when she was a child.
Yes.
And that meant that baby food was much more tasty to her, and she was able to do that. So I thought that's where we were going.
Yes, okay.
We didn't get there at all, because something else turned up while we were asking about present feelings. Just in the describing about how she utterly could not bear to touch or bite into, I think she was talking about an apple at the point. She said, I can't bear the feeling of biting into or pricking my finger. I thought, that sounds like something else, and started to ask about that. So we went on the finger prick, which had happened when she was in primary school.
Yes, okay. And fascinating, and this is something that I really would like to have all the listeners and people reading this article pay attention to, is clients, if we're listening, will give us these clues. They show up sometimes, and a lesser experienced EFTer just might dismiss that. But if you're tuned in, bingo, here's a brand new big door, which turned out to be a very important specific event.
Yes.
Okay. So yes, go ahead. What else was going on here?
Well, we worked on that one until that was really low down. The reason I kept with it was the symptoms she gets from trying to chew, or the idea of chewing. She was replicating these while she was talking about the finger prick.
Yes.
The various other things that were happening. And we got that so that it wasn't happening at all anymore.
Yes.
And then I did the classic one that you've told everyone to do. So anything else like that ever happened before?
Yeah, or what does that remind you? And she had another
event.
What does that remind you of is one of my
That's the one.
One of my favorite phrases, So
yeah.
So anyway, this article of yours I thought was really excellent, and it just unfolds a lot of this, and there's a lot of good meat in here for those who are really motivated, to take EFT to its highest level. So my gratitude to you, Odette. Thank you so much.